Good morning. Happy Monday. Welcome to the Pitch Strike Chronicles. I am Uncle Taz. I'm here with Rubino and Donald. And to all the moms that follow us, we all hope you had a great Mother's Day yesterday. You all deserve everything you get. And the Yankees surely gave you the entertainment that you were waiting for, because they put on the kids, particularly, who get a lot of heat. Are they ready? We've had our share of ups and downs with some of them this year, but this weekend it really the kids were on display. And I don't want to hear all the garbage that it was minimum. It was only accelerated the way they were because they were in a minor league ballpark. Get away from me with that shit. The kids actually were so dialed in. You got to see really what their potential could be. And I think the spotlight has to be on Dominguez. He probably, of all of them, he was the one that really just stepped up and was like, all right, let's do this kind of attitude. And when you have that mentality, the sky's the limit. And the Martian came down from the skies and says, all right, let's take command of the series. The middle game, it was what it was. It was, we'll hear about that in the awards, I'm sure, some of the mishaps from that game and what went wrong. But it really is about celebrating and being excited about the youth on this team, kind of getting a chance to come into their own and coming through for us as fans, coming through for their manager that gave them the opportunity and didn't really mess with too much. So I'm going to toss it to Rob. Rob, how do you feel about the kids this weekend and their showing up when we really needed to really take a series from a team?
Not bad for a platoon player, right? 3 homers, grand slam, 7 ribbies in one game. That's platoon player, right? We'll get to that moron in a moment. But Jason Dominguez was phenomenal. He's out of this world, right? There's the saying that we continue to say about him. He's with one game, really, he put himself into like the top 3 of every category for rookies. And it just goes to show you that you can't overreact to a slow start for a player as young as Dominguez. And that goes for not just for Yankees, but for all of baseball. If the prospect comes up, it's going to take some time. Not everybody starts off boiling hot like the Jackson Merrills of the world. And even on the pitching side, like Paul Skeens. Like, not everyone's going to have that fast start. And let's be honest, it's not like Dominguez was playing awful. He had a couple of hiccups here and there, but he was overall, his offensive numbers were never like dreadfully bad to where you're like, maybe they should consider sending him down. He wasn't playing every day, so it's hard to find consistency that way. And here they are playing him every single day, and he's putting up good numbers. Well, go figure that out. It's almost like getting more reps works. Jason Dominguez needs to be playing every single day. Find a way to get him in the lineup. And he is going to show you why. I don't care if it was in a minor league park, because if he went 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts, there would have been people screaming for him to get optioned to AAA. So you play where you play, you hit where you hit, and Jason Dominguez hit the crap out of the ball. He was fantastic. Ben Rice had a great series. I mean, just we're getting a lot of production from a lot of the younger players, of course, surrounding Aaron Judge, who's continues to blow the roof off the joint. But Dominguez, that one game, it's like that was what you wanted to see from him, to finally get himself on a nice roll. And all of a sudden his offensive numbers are like rookie of the year candidates. Like, it's just one game. That's why even 40 games in, you're like, early season stats are going to fluctuate so much throughout the year that it's really not going to be until mid-season that you finally get a real idea where a player is going to be during the course of the season. But I'm so happy for him. I'm happy he shut up so many skeptics, and it's validating everything that we've been saying. Is just wait, just give it a little time before you start making assumptions about a 21-year-old player. And yeah, he hit one from both sides of the plate.
Yep.
Like, who does that? Like Posada and Bernie. You want everyone to be like former Yankees from the dynasty. Well, Posada and Bernie would do that. Teixeira did that plenty of times. Swisher did that. You want it to be like your Yankee favorites and Yankee greats. I mean, what else do you want from the guy? He's starting to produce from the right side of the plate, which was kind of his Achilles heel offensively. And you're starting to see him get better and better with more reps. So good for him. happy for him, happy for the Yankees. The offense has been fantastic, and a lot of it has to do with the young guys on the team, and Dominguez is kind of at the forefront of that with Ben Rice. So what a great series for both those two.
Donald, what do you think?
Yeah, to quote at Hot Stove Intel, Jason Dominguez is the most overhyped prospect in Yankee history. Yankees media machine made fans believe he'd be an absolute star. We're heading towards a Gary Sanchez type career. Useful platoon bat. Well, you are not a useful executive, whoever you are. Whoever's burner is using that, you don't know ball. You don't know ball. How can you possibly say that about somebody? Did you say that when he hit his very first pitch that he ever saw in the majors for a home run against Verlander? Did you say that then, that he's this platoon bum? Huh? Give me a break. Who could possibly write off somebody this quick? He didn't even have 200 at-bats prior to that post being made. How can you possibly write off someone's career after 200 at-bats? And also, the Gary Sanchez comparison is actually factually incorrect, because Gary Sanchez, when in his first couple of years as a Yankee, was actually on a trajectory of Hall of Fame caliber. It just didn't work out for him. But that doesn't mean that you paint all rookies and all prospects with the same brush just because for the first 190 at-bats, you're not batting 400. What's wrong with this equation? I mean, these executives or whoever's burner was using that, you should know. You should know that you have to give all prospects time. And to say most overrated in history? What, more than Florial? By the way, his stats are already better than Florial's ever was. So, and I like Florial, but come on. I mean, what are we doing here? You can write off somebody after less than 200 at-bats? You don't know ball, whoever that is. So, I'm happy for Dominguez, man. That was incredible. 3 home run game? He was the offense.
Yep.
He was the actual entire offense. And, I think he's more than a platoon player. I'm only just guessing, but I think if you can hit 3 home runs in one game and genuinely be a Rookie of the Year candidate now in the first week of May, I think we can maybe give him a chance. No, I mean, call me crazy. I think we give him a chance. What do we think here? I mean, whoever wrote that, you are a complete moron. You don't know ball. You should delete your account and you should resign from whatever position that you hold because you don't know shit.
No, it is too early to judge. And employed that one because we've been saying you got to be patient with these kids. Like, we don't even know what, 3 years in his third season, we're still trying to figure out what Volpe is. Because he'll have a couple of games where he looks like a freaking rock star, and then you'll have that little mental lapse. But does that mean that he doesn't belong on a major league roster? I mean, come on. Like, let's just be a little more realistic. I understand you want to be reactionary to a specific play in the moment. We all do it. But this is why you can't judge somebody off of really a handful of games. When you look at the long game of a player's career, we saw a couple of the young guys that we were written off on opposing teams. Look at Andujar. We were quick to write him off. He's actually made himself a pretty good career out in Oakland, Sacramento, the A's, whatever they want to be now. He's not. He's not an all-star, but you know what? He found a home that let him be himself, and he's been doing. He's holding his own. So I have no hate on. I know I'm mentioning Andujar, but on top of all the kids we have, but it goes to show you don't know which generation of youth is going to elevate. Because of those baby bombers, Judge is the only one standing. in our organization. They're all gone. So we don't, this could be that youth movement we thought we were getting in 17 because they're all clicking.
Yeah. And again, it's also early still. I mean, we got to realize there's still 120 games, 122 games left to play. So you kind of have to take everything month by month with baseball. There's still basically 4 months of games left. So anything can happen. But as I've been saying most of the time on the show, we can only go by what we have seen. And what we have seen, Jason Dominguez has silenced a lot of the people that said he wasn't ready. Ben Rice has silenced pretty much everyone that said he wasn't ready. If you would have told me that 40 games into the season, Ben Rice would be top 10 in OPS, I would have said you were crazy, but he is.
Yeah.
If you would have told me that we had the top 2 guys in batting average, we're going to get to our captain in a moment, I would have thought you were crazy. If you would have said we would have had 2 guys in the top 10 of home runs, I would have been like, that's a little more realistic. But if you would have told me one of them was Trent Grisham, I would have said you were crazy. So it's like 40 games into the season, we've had a lot of good things with our offense. Believe it or not, it's kind of been the pitching. It's kind of been the flip of what we were thinking. It's been the back end of the bullpen, mainly Devin Williams, that has kind of cost us a bunch of games. We could be a potential like 26, 27 win team if Devin Williams wasn't historically bad this first month of the season. So, but in terms of the youth on the team, it's been great. And what else is great is this chat. Let's say hello to everybody here on this great Monday morning, because we have 20 plus people in here and everyone's rocking with us. Jonathan was here. He gets the early bird award at 7:57. So he wanted to make sure he was first. John, the Beagle Dad, came in a little while later. Ken dropping in here as well. We got Stevie B, Sunil's in the chat. We got my dad. What's up, Dad? Thank you for joining me on the show on Friday with NFE. FJ, CT Cards, TC Steels, a lot of people with initials in their name. We're not getting tongue-tied on this one. So far, so good. Jason Custodio is here. Dev Finch is joining us. We've got the usual suspects. We've got all of our great people in the house on this Monday morning. Hope everyone had a good weekend. I hope you enjoyed the series because I sure did. And let's talk about our captain, because Aaron frickin' Judge continues to do things that we just have not been seeing in a baseball field. He's hitting 400 again. His on base is nearing 500 again. He is the league leader in like every single category. What else can we say about Aaron Judge that hasn't already been said?
The only thing left is where's the Triple Crown? Because like we said it the other day, it's coming. But like, how weird is it to say like his average dropped under 300 and we're going, man, he's slumping. Like that's not supposed to be a conversation, because that's just a projection that he's on. He's going to finish. He's going to put a series. I think at this point, I'm very comfortable saying he's really going to make a run for the average lead in the majors. He's coming for Ted Williams 409. He's coming for it. And if anybody's going to do it, it would be him, and it would be this season. And that is at the start of the year with very questionable, I don't want to say inept, but questionable protection behind him in the lineup. That is how good Aaron Judge is at playing baseball. And it's not only his offense, his defense too has been absolutely legit. Donald?
I mean, at the moment, he's batting 70 points better than he did last year, and he batted 322 last year. 80. The man's just ridiculous. This man's just ridiculous. I mean, what else can you say about him? I mean, he leads in every single trajectory, every single position, every single statistic. He's number one right across the board. He's just the best. And you could even make the argument that we probably underappreciate him, if anything. This stuff isn't normal. I mean, this is like, when was the last time someone bat 400? I mean, the last time someone got close was like Tony Gwynn, right?
Yeah.
So, now it's a different era of baseball. The fact that Aaron Judge is doing this when the baseball is so slanted heavily in favor of pitchers. It's all the more incredible. Um, as I say, like the league average batting average is around about like 230, 240, and Judges that is double that. That just shows just like how much better Aaron Judge is than everybody else in the league. He is that much better than everybody. I mean, Otani's great, Soto's great, but Aaron Judge is unslumpable. He's unbeatable. I mean, he legitimately terrifies people. Legitimately. I think everyone's just sort of like, I don't know, how am I supposed to get Aaron Judge out? How are you supposed to get him out? I mean, he doesn't have a weakness now. Aaron Judge used to have certain weaknesses in his approach. Not anymore. It's now gone. He's now basically the perfect batter. He can hit for average. He hits for power. He can hit 60 home runs in his sleep. He can now bat 400 in his sleep. There is nothing that he can't do. So how are you supposed to approach an Aaron Judge now? So that's just what's quite incredible about it. And it's only going to get better this year. I think we're going to be in for – in fact, I know we're going to be in for a historic year with Aaron Judge. Whatever category it's going to be, history is going to be made. Whether it's the home run chase or whether it's batting average, whatever, Aaron Judge is going to make history this year. And I can't wait to see what it's going to be.
He's really insane. Like it's almost like his numbers are AI generated because they don't look real. And I know it's kind of getting tired saying this every single show about the guy, but he continues to do things that we just don't usually see. Like I think it was either this series or the San Diego one prior where they intentionally walked him and they put an extra man on base when they didn't have to. Like they just do not want to pitch to him. And I don't blame them. I don't blame anybody for wanting to pitch him. And that's why I'm a little bit mad at Aaron Boone. I'll get to that when we get to our awards because he's the guy that you want up right now in every single spot. Whenever there's a big spot, you want him up there because I think he has more multi-hit games this year than he has no-hit games. That's difficult to do, even for a player like Aaron Judge. So, I mean, just we got to enjoy this because we don't see this every day. We didn't see this from A-Rod, and A-Rod was probably the best just power hitter that we got to see in a Yankee uniform. So we're seeing Aaron Judge do things that A-Rod wasn't doing, and A-Rod had a little bit of enhancement on his side. So, like, this is different. This is scary good. And the fact that he's, like, on a different plateau from players like Otani and Soto, who are just outstanding baseball players altogether, like, it's just like he's put himself on a different pedestal because there's so many other great hitters in baseball, and Judge is clearing them in pretty much every single category. And he's doing it with, like you said earlier, Tats, the protection of the lineup is not what it was last year. Goldschmidt's been great, but you can't tell me you'd rather pitch to, like, you'd rather have Goldschmidt behind Judge than Soto, or Soto in front of Judge. You'd rather have Soto either in front of or behind Judge than you would Bellinger or Goldschmidt. Yeah. Even Ben Rice, like as good as Ben Rice has been, you'd still would rather have Soto there because it's better protection. But he's doing this
without Stanton in the lineup too.
Right. No Stanton either. And no Jazz as well. Jazz is still hurt. Yeah. Jazz for a while was really good protection for Judge for like the first week or so. He's doing this with a lineup that's constantly changing around him every day. Whether he's batting second or third, whether it's Goldschmidt or Rice or Grisham in front of him, it doesn't matter. And I think he took what happened last year in the World Series in the postseason. I think he took that to heart, and he's made it a mission to make sure that doesn't happen again. Now, a lot of that is going to be on him when we get to October, of course, but he's never had a start like this, and that's scary considering he's already hit 60 and 58, and what was his rookie season? 54, I think, something like that, so 52. So the fact that he's done that 3 times in his career, and he's currently at like a better trajectory than those 3 seasons is terrifying because all we kept hearing is, oh, once he hits 33, you're going to start to see a bit of a decline, and he's just getting better. Like that's scary, and I'm glad we have him, and I'm because I would hate to have to face him.
Yeah, 52. Yeah.
And you know what's crazy? he's eclipsing his own career numbers. You know, his own like career average. His career average OPS is 1,000. He's up at the moment. His OPS is 1,273. So he's clearing that by 200. His on base percentage for his career is a normally fucking incredible 409. It's 500. Right? It's like, this is crazy. His batting average, he's just slightly under 300 for his career. He's over 400 now. So he's eclipsing his own like averages, but not just close, obliterating them. I'm at 33 years old. He's obliterating them. And I just wonder what the record's going to be that he's going to break, because he's going to break a record this year. Might be his own home run record. It'll be something. What do you guys think? Which record do you think it's going to be? Think it'll be batting average? Will it be a triple crown? Will it be home runs? What do you think?
That's actually a really fun, debatable question, because all three are in play right now.
Yeah.
What's the on base record?
That is a good question.
Because I feel like I don't think he's gonna hit 400. If that keeps up, then they might have to test him. But I mean, the on base or home runs seem like the more likely ones, because we know he can hit 50 in his sleep, and I just feel like at some point, if the offense does hit a bit of a snide, which it happens in baseball, they're gonna stop pitching to him and he'll get on base a ton. I feel like if anything, he's going to break the on base record or the home run his own home run record. One of the two. I can't see him hitting 400 for the entire season.
No, I could see it being very close, where like it could be like one of those, the last week of the year. Is it going to happen? I think the more realistic would be the Triple Crown. Because I think it's going to get to the point where he is really going to seriously get the Bonds treatment, and they're just not going to pitch to him. So especially because I think even though the numbers are there behind him with who they're putting in the lineup, I just saw the same thing.
Never mind.
Let's put my foot on pause, because this is insane.
I forgot that Barry Bonds existed for a second.
Yeah, Barry Bonds. I'm looking at 600 on base percentage. Am I looking at that?
All right, so his own home run record. There's my answer, because I don't think he's getting to a 600 on base. That's insane.
That is.
Wow.
He should get in the Hall of Fame for that alone, Bonds. That's nuts.
Like, if somebody else had put that comment in, I'd be like, can we verify that? But Jonathan would not put out false information in the chat.
Oh.
But, oh my God, 609.
Jonathan's fast as well. But yeah, Barry Bonds, 600. Then Barry Bonds second at 580. Josh Gibson, 550. And Ted Williams, 552. And then Babe Ruth after that. Barry Bonds makes up 3 of the top 10 on-base percentage of all time. So Barry Bonds is somehow not in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, right. Okay. I'll buy it.
Yeah, but
he had pitchers shaking in their
with his
boots.
suspicions.
Like, the fact that somebody decided to walk in with the bases loaded. I mean, that
tells you everything.
Steroids or not, that dude needs to be in the Hall of Fame. I don't want to go off on another tangent because we got to get to our awards, but put him in the fucking Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
We
do have our own Hall of Famer, so that's not bad.
Yeah.
He's playing right now for right field for the New York Yankees. It's pretty cool watching another Hall of Famer every day. And I do think we take it for granted because you just kind of expect it. It's actually going to the point now where he doesn't hit a home run, he only hits a double. You're like, oh.
Scrub. He should have 15. He should have 15, by the way, because they stole that one from him in Tampa.
Yeah.
So the fact that he's already it's May 12th and he's got 15 home runs, like he's on a pace for what is that, like a 50-something home run pace, I think? Might be more than that. Like, it's nuts. Like, he could very well break his own home run record, and it would be like, oh, well, that's normal because it's Aaron Judge. Like, he would have done it 3 years in a row if not for him running into a freaking wall in L.A.
Yep. Freaking Dodgers. But real quick, because we're gonna get into the awards in a second. Rob, you brought up the comparison with A-Rod, and that's the difference between with those key moments with Judge and A-Rod. A-Rod would try to hit the home run. Judge is more trying to just put the ball in play. Like he's more of a pass the baton player than hit for the moon and get the moment type of player. And not to take away from what A-Rod did. A-Rod was he was a very clutch player. But it's you can see that there's an obvious difference between the two of them, where they really do. They should continue to stand apart and still be acknowledged as key players.
I'll continue on one thing though. I don't think A-Rod ever went each at bat only aiming to hit a home run. I think that's a disservice to A-Rod. A-Rod always squared up to make the best contact possible. It was just so much that he had one of the best swings in the history of the game and great power that he was always able to deposit out of the ballpark. But I don't think his approach was only to hit home runs. I think he was a much better hitter than that. You know what I'm saying? Because we've always had a lot of all or nothing home run hitters, like Sammy Sosa. That was a guy that would always aim to hit a home run every time. Mark McGwire. A-Rod was much better than that, man. A-Rod was someone that could easily bat well over 300 every single year. So that's another guy that should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, we are about to get into the awards, but before we do that, you all know the drill. Hit that like button, hit that sub button, share this out. Let's continue to build this algorithm, build the family. If you're watching on X, YouTube, if you've been listening on SportsWire Radio later on this afternoon and you want to get in on the award shows after every series, it's very easy. It's very free. All you got to do is hit that subscribe button to join the chat and get involved with your votes. So with that being said, let's get to Donald's Awards.
What's up, guys? What's up, guys? Everybody, please hit the like button. It definitely helps the algorithm. So if everyone watching, please could just take the time, just 1 second on YouTube, hit that like button. Let's get enough people hitting the like button so that this will spread the word. We'll spread the word of the Pinstripe Chronicles, get more subs, continue to grow this thing. How about that? Does that sound like a good plan? Please, everybody, hit that like button. Just to answer CT Card's message, he says here, I see Judge getting 50-plus home runs, but I think he's after the Triple Crown. Let's go, let's go. I think you're right, man. I think you're right. I think that's what it is. I think he's gonna do something special with a home run record this year. I think he's probably gonna break his own one. I could see that, and get the Triple Crown. That would be incredible. Looking forward to it. Anyway, let's get into the awards. Let's start with the MVP. I'm giving it to who we talked about at the start of the show. Jason Dominguez gets my MVP. Definite bias considering he hit 3 home runs in one game and was just the offense in that game. So I think he deserves it. And what a way to come back, man, because he's not been managed the best. The Yankees have had him in and out of the lineup. It's very hard to get consistency that way. He's been out after 6 innings almost daily. Yet to come back and to make a statement like he did this series, to make it impossible for Aaron Boone to bench him, is remarkable. He made it so impossible that Boone couldn't take him out after 6 innings, and he couldn't bench him the next day. That's pretty impressive considering what Boone wants to do. We've seen it. We've seen it this whole entire month and a half prior. He's desperate to bench Dominguez. Can't wait to bench Dominguez. Can't do it now. Good job, Dominguez. And he shut up the haters too. So, and my MVP is Dominguez. Let's give it to Rubinho.
Yeah, I don't know if he had the best series, but 3 home runs in one game, 7 ribbies in one game, that puts you in the MVP. Like, I can't give it to anybody else. I would like to give it to a couple of people, but you can't give it to anyone but Jason Dominguez. That was a special game.
Totally agree. Uncle T.
Yeah, no, it's unanimous for us. It's Dominguez. And I was flip-flopping between him and who my low-key is going to be. But it was when you have the game he did, he was, they trusted him to he pretty much played the whole series. Even yesterday, he was contributing with the bat. So he had a pretty good series, I think. And he had the faith of his manager, where he kind of forced the manager's hand that you can't sit me. But like Rob said, when you get a 3-homer game with a grand slam in the mix of it, that does not come around too often, especially at his age. So Dominguez definitely was elevated to the MVP.
Absolutely. Where's everybody in the chat? You guys agree with our contention?
Straight up Dominguez.
Yeah. Oh man, absolutely. Standing on business. Let's do it. And let's move on to the low key. I'm actually going to give my low key to Paul Goldschmidt. He had 6 hits in the series with 3 RBIs, and he's batting over almost 350. What an incredible signing. What an incredible player. This guy is going to be a Hall of Famer. And I mean, if it wasn't a certainty that he was going to go to the Hall of Fame in his career, what he's doing for the Yankees about 350 at the age of 37 years old is almost cements it now. Absolutely locks it in. This guy is tremendous. This is one of the things I was very wrong with. Not the fact that I didn't think he was going to be a great player. I just thought that maybe at 37 he was maybe on the downside. No. He's very much on the upward trajectory. He's pretty freaking amazing. Paul Goldschmidt, you get the shout out, man. I could always give it to Aaron Judge because Aaron Judge is doing Aaron Judge things on a series-to-series basis. But 6 hits over a series, pretty good. Let's give it to Goldschmidt. Let's go with Rubinho.
I want to go with anyone but Judge, but he hit 2 more homers. He came awfully close to another one. I just looked up his home run pace, and AI says he's on pace for like 400 home runs. So gotta love it. That's why I was laughing earlier. I was like, that ain't right. But no, I gave it to Judge. You can easily give this. You could toss a coin here, or a dice, really, a die. Like just give it to Ben Rice or Goldschmidt. Even Dominguez can get double MVP, but Aaron Judge was just good from start to finish. Plus his defense. He made that incredible catch in right field yesterday. And in a game that was pretty much out of reach, I wish he wouldn't take those risks, but he says he just plays hard no matter what. And he was great all series. So while I could easily give this to Goldschmidt because you're spot on about him, the captain, I can't go a series without recognizing what he did because he was great. So Judge, another award on his ledger for the season. He might break a record for us.
It's going to be a record. Uncle T.
Yeah, I had Judge as well. It was I had him as the MVP until I was like really going through all the box scores and going over everything this morning, and I'm like, you know what, I had to make that little bit of a switch, just because of the impact from Dominguez, but Judge's impact on this team continues to it's flawless. This dude, especially like Rob pointed out, he doesn't take a game off. He's going to play his way, whether it hurts him or not. And that's why he has that C on his chest, as we say. So Judge, really, there's nobody. You have to give him at least something every week, every award show. His name has to be in these top 2 spots. You got the low key this week.
Let's go. All right, come on, chat. Let's get the awards in. Right, who's your low key, guys? Who's your low key? Are you giving it to Goldie or are you giving it to Judge? Who's your low key? Get your answers in.
There's no wrong answer here.
There isn't.
No.
Steele says low key MVP. Judge does deserve it, but I want to shout out Will Warren. All right, Sneal. Jason Custodio goes Will Warren. Okay. So it looks like people are actually going for Warren, but Jared's coming back with Goldie. CT Cards mentions Yarbrough. Remember, there's a pitching award, guys, so you don't have to go all in on this one. But it looks like they want to give the one to Will Warren. All right. So that leads us gracefully into the next award, and that would be the pitching award. And that, for me, is Will Warren. 7 innings, 1 run ball? Pretty good. Raw.
It's Will Warren. This was his best start. He needed it, man. I talked about this. I was on with NFE on Saturday on his channel, and we were just talking about how he needed a start like this because up until that game, he had just been mediocre at best, and a lot of his starts were just rough, like really rough, to a point where you're like, should they consider sending him down for a guy like Winans or anybody else, really? But he needed a start like this. Hopefully it gets him going. He limited his pitch mix to more of like 3 pitches at this point. He's gone with the fastball, he's going with his changeup and his sweeper, and that sweeper was disgusting. So hopefully that's it's a sign of things to come because we need it from this rotation. And if he can put a stamp on himself in the rotation, I'm hoping this is the start that did it. But he was great. I did not expect him to go 7. I'll tell you that much. I thought 5 would have been the max, but 7 innings was great because we needed the length from the rotation.
Tats?
Yeah, I got a call before his start the other day, and he's like, you know what? You ripped me on my last start. You asked me, you questioned if I should ever start a game again. F you, watch what I do now. And he actually had it's going to be a game we're going to go back and compare to the rest of the year. Anytime Warren makes a start. Warren pretty much told us to shut up. It's early, as we like to say with some of these other guys. Don't judge me off of a handful of starts. Just watch. But Warren really, he showed up. He had 8 strikeouts, which is a game high for him. So he's never had that many strikeouts in a game that he had started. The length he went to give the bullpen a rest that needed it. Warren pretty much shut me up. So I'm giving it to Warren.
I know. I think you shut all of us up. I didn't expect that from Will Warren.
No.
I mean, the A's are not an awful team. They're actually pretty good this year. So
yes, you see some of their batting averages and their stat lines. They're not scrubs.
No, they're much better than the Rays are.
Yeah, I mean they were above 500 going into the series. So I think now they're at 500.
Yeah, they're solid. So across the board, we're giving it to Warren. The Clutch Awards. I mean, I was debating because I'd love to give Ben Rice a Clutch Award for his Grand Slam, but I mean, Aaron Judge, how many hits did he have in the series? Like 47? I'm probably going to give it to Aaron Judge. He's my Clutch Award because, I mean, I have to fit him in somewhere. So he's my Clutch Award winner. Rob?
I'm going with Yarborough. I've been giving him a lot of awards lately, but he came in it might be a spot start. It might be his spot now in the rotation. He went 5 very solid innings. At a time where there's been some question marks. We know that Carrasco's gone, thankfully, and we needed someone to fill in that 5th starter spot, and he did it very well. He came through and shut him down pretty much. Our offense was able to take over and make this a blowout. Ryan Yarborough, I'm hoping that he keeps up with what he's doing because he got off to a bit of a slow start, but he's kind of been on a roll. And if he's been a former starter before, if this can kind of get him into a rhythm of giving us 4 or 5 consistently out of the 5th spot of the rotation, hopefully 5 at least, then that'd be great because we need it. And that was a great start from him. 3 lefties in a rotation, kind of unusual, but if it works, I'll take it.
Absolutely.
For me, it was hard to really pinpoint one specific player. So I actually have the lineup of all 3 games. I thought the offense was just really clicking. We batted around in the first game once, and then yesterday we batted around the order twice. That is, you don't see that. It's hard to do it once in a series.
True. 3
times in a series, twice in one game. It's not like one guy was left off the list of who had an impact on the score. I mean, you can't play for your teammates much more than the Yankees did this series. This was definitely, that's why I have it written down for the clutch. It says the kids, because they were given an opportunity and they freaking seized it.
Let's go. All right, let's get to the next one. You're my boy, Blue. You're my boy. Right. I mean, obviously, I would love to give my boy Peraza the award because he hit a 2-run home run. But, I mean, come on. It's Dominguez. Dominguez is doing something special. So, my boy Blue will be Dominguez on this occasion. But a shout out to Peraza, the most hated Yankee in the world by their own front office. But my boy stepped up and got a 2-run home run. We love you, Peraza. Stay strong, brother. But Dominguez is my guy. Good job, Dominguez, Rob.
I'm going with Ben Rice. I got to give him a shout out somewhere. He took a beating this series. He got hit, I think, twice, two or three times. He keeps getting hit by pitches, and he hit a grand slam. And there were people on that dreadful app known as X that were doubting him last year after 100 at-bats, and they said he wasn't ready. And they watched him play one spring training game where he struck out a couple of times and said, oh, he's not ready. Well, now he's top 10 in the league in OPS. So maybe we should stop listening to some certain idiots on the app called X and go with our eye test, because Ben Rice has always had a good bat, and he's putting that together right now. I'm ecstatic for him, and the man can speak some damn good Spanish. I'll tell you that. He's a fan of Bad Bunny, and that's always going to be a plus for me. So, my boy, Ben Rice, Mr. Aros, congratulations.
Uncle T.
I have Ben Rice, too. He took a beating. He got a hit by pitch, and then his next at bat is when he hit the grand slam. Like, all right, you're not going to, you want me to just go right back to, he's on fire right now, especially with all the hate. But he's also playing multiple positions. We've seen him, at first. We've seen him with the DH. I think he got a chance to end the game behind the plate. So he's just made himself so accessible for the management, where even if, he's not, we don't know what's going to happen if if they want to give him a day off from just DHing and give him a position, he's going to come through. He's really been probably one of our better all-around players this year. As far as, because I guess you can slap the utility tag on him. So Rice has just been the guy, and there was somebody that's no longer allowed here that was questioning whether he was going to remain in the lineup when Stanton comes back. Usually you're the other way around, so I thought that was really, really bad. Rice has just been the guy. It's going to really create a problem when everybody gets healthy.
Right. Let's get to Aaron Boone out of 10. I'm going to give him an 8. Rob?
I went with a 7. There was the game in the second game, his bullpen management. I didn't like it. There was a chance to maybe come back. We had Judge do up second in the 9th inning, and we were only down by 1, and he went with Hamilton and Matzek when he was more than likely going to have to use.
Jesus.
He should have used Williams and Weaver, or one of the two, in that 8th inning to give us a chance. Because Grisham led off with a triple, I believe, in the 9th, and then Judge got him in. It would have been a tie game. They were going to pitch anyway if Cruz didn't blow the lead. NFE, that is news that I did not need to hear. But DJ's coming back, which put a damper on the entire day. But, I didn't like Boone's bullpen management in game 2. I think we had a chance to maybe come back, and that's why I bumped him down. But other than that, he was fine because he left Dominguez in. He didn't bench him. But that game 2 bullpen management, it took 3 points off him because it could have been a perfect series. I didn't think he did anything wrong. Cruz blowing the game, I didn't see it. But he was going to use Weaver and Williams anyway if we had kept the lead. So and they hadn't pitched since Wednesday. Use them. And now they haven't pitched for like 4 days, and who knows what they're going to be like if you need them tonight. He keeps managing for the next day, and not managing for the game at hand, and that game was still winnable, even though the Athletics came back to retake the lead after we had come back to take the lead. Stop managing for tomorrow and worry about the game that's ahead of you.
Yeah, you're right. I've actually amended my score. It needs to be probably a 6, but I'll give it a 7. That Madzek move was a disaster. Tats.
Yeah, I actually his score went from an 8 to a 7 because of that bullpen move.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had him at a 7. The bullpen arms were ready to go. I'm sure I'm hoping you would make a different decision the next time around, but we should have swept that series, and his bullpen hiccup cost it. And so I got to give you a 7.
Let's
and
move
Ken,
on.
I get that. I'm sorry, but I get that about Mason Miller, but you had Aaron Judge up.
Yeah.
You put Aaron Judge up against any pitcher in baseball in a one-run game. I'm sorry. I don't care if it's Mason Miller or prime Nolan Ryan. You want Aaron Judge up in a one-run game against anybody. That's how good Judge has been. He's your best hitter, and it could have been a one-run game. So I get what you're saying because Mason Miller has handled the Yankees, but he's also been struggling this year. This would have been a time to take advantage of that with Judge due up second.
So my L is going to be a joint one between Ian Hamilton and Tyler Madzek. Didn't agree with calling up Tyler Madzek. I think I much would have preferred Gomes, I should say, or Gomez, however you want to put it. One that's now in the Dodgers. We should have kept him.
He's a White Sox now, actually.
He's now a White Sox?
Yeah. Someone gave me that news on Saturday. He was claimed by Chicago, which that's terrible trajectory for him to go from the Yankees to Chicago.
He didn't deserve to have been demoted by the Yankees. That's for sure.
No.
I can absolutely lock that down as a certainty, especially not for Tyler Madzek. Madzek looks pretty ass. And Hamilton is not so much of a Terminator anymore. He's terminating my love of his pitching. So I'm giving them joint L. Rob.
Yeah, I went with Hamilton. I don't know he's busy too hurt. He's came into the Yankees with injuries, but he really put that aside because he was brilliant. But over the last couple of years, he's been constantly hurt. And his last few outings have been bad. And the other day, he just could not get anybody out. You hope that he would be able to kind of lock down that 6th, 7th role. But yeah, Hamilton was just dreadful. And Ken brings up a good point. The defense was not very good in game 2, but Hamilton was just bad. And so was Madzek. But
yeah,
that's just, I don't know what's going on with Hamilton.
Still good.
My L, I actually went outside the Yankees. There are a couple of things that happened over the weekend in baseball, and I Hamilton's just coming back. Really, I don't want to pick on him. He's still trying to get into the rhythm of a season. It wasn't good. It definitely wasn't a good look. I'm not giving him a full pass, but let's see after a couple of outings whether this was just a coming back hiccup or he'll correct himself. I gave my L to the Rockies. That organization completely, we make fun, we'll take jabs at other teams like the White Sox, like we just did, the Marlins. I mean, you have to be a special kind of fuck up of an organization to have this at the start of your season. And yeah, then I saw there was something, I don't know if it was true, but it had the Rockies logo on the graphic that they're holding now open tryouts. Not true?
No, you got fooled. That's a fake page.
I thought I had a feeling it was, but I was like, it's kind of.
I know exactly what post you're thinking about. It's called Talking Basabel. They're trying to fool people thinking that it's like an NBA Centel type of page. It fooled a bunch of Mets fans a week ago when they said there was a stat coming out called True Home Run, and a bunch of Mets fans were in the comments like, "Oh, the Yankee fans ain't gonna like this." And I'm like, "Oh, you moron should learn how to read." But unfortunately, Tats, you might have to take the L for that one because you just got Basabelled.
I'm saying I didn't think it was real, but it had the logo. I was like, kind of just caught my eye. But the organization itself really has completely dropped the ball on how to be a professional baseball team.
If we lose a game to them this month, I'm gonna flip a chair or something.
Oh my god!
And if he's going to those games, and if he watches them lose live, he might burn Colorado to the ground. But if we lose a game to those fucking Rockies, I'm gonna be angry. Simply one game. We cannot lose to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, lose 21-0 to the Padres. Holy shit. And that was after they gave up 13 runs to the Padres the night before. And then the night before that, lose 11-1 to the Tigers and 10-2 to the Tigers. Has that ever happened to like 4 straight double-digit losses?
That's
55 runs given up in 4 games. What the fuck are you guys doing?
It's a rightful L to give out.
Yesterday they won 9-3.
Yeah, they won yesterday. They fired their manager, right? And
they fired their manager before the game, and then they win.
Yeah, he was there for like 9 years, and I thought we had it bad with Aaron Boone. Jesus, that guy was there for 9 years. They've been rebuilding for like half of my life.
Did they honestly fire their manager and bench coach post game? That's
they
hilarious.
did. Yeah.
Yep.
I love that. That's awesome. Well, we've got the Aaron Hicks Award, but I don't really have an Aaron Hicks Award to give out. But Rob, do you have one?
Well, I mean, you kind of eviscerated him earlier. It was that MLB executive burner account on Twitter. I don't think I need to repeat what you said.
You can. Here we go. Just for my man, Rob. Here we go. There, the Aaron Hicks Award. Rob, let it rip, brother.
All right. Well, you called him a platoon player. You said he was the most overhyped prospect since Gary Sanchez, or the most overhyped prospect ever in Yankees history, which is just not true. He's had not even 40 games played this year. And up to that point, like you said, hadn't even had 200 at-bats in the season. But apparently he's overhyped. But it's not just him. There are other Twitter accounts, X accounts, that have been going off about Dominguez, saying Dominguez stinks, and then he hits 3 home runs, and they say, oh, I never gave up on the Martian. This is why I hate certain fans, because they just don't understand the word patience. How are you going to tell what a prospect is before he's even reached 200 at-bats in a season? He's barely even scraped the surface of what he can be in his career. The kid is 21 years old, 22 years old, and you're going to go on and say he sucks because he's not playing every single day. He's learning a new position on the fly, and his manager isn't necessarily giving him the go-ahead to play all 9 innings every single game anyway, and you expect him to put it all together in less than a month worth of games. I'm glad Twitter actually went out and attacked that executive burner account, because immediately after that 3rd home run, every single person I could imagine was quote tweeting that, responding to it. Donald, I saw your response to it. I quote tweeted him basically with a video of Jimmy Uso slapping Gunther in the face, because that guy deserves a harder smack to the face for that stupid take. But everyone honestly deserves it for their ridiculous takes about prospects in general, how quickly people are to cast them aside. But they're the same people that were asking for George Lombard to be the starting 3rd baseman after spring training this year. So if you're not going to be patient for Dominguez, or you're going to be patient for Lombard, just stop. Let the kid play, and then we can assess what he is. Even after one season, we're not going to know. So MLB, but this goes to that executive burner, that moron. Go fuck yourself. You're the Aaron Hicks Award winner.
Amen.
All right, for me, I actually have Ben Verlander and his stupid take, saying that Ohtani is still better than Bonds. Stop making an argument. The dude hasn't pitched for almost 3 seasons now. What is he in the series? The league 9 years. He's only pitched in 3 of them. Stop getting on your knees for Ohtani. He is not the greatest player in the game right now. This season, he is not the best player in the game. He's on the Yankees. Actually, the top, you could even put Goldschmidt right now above what Ohtani's doing. So stop. It's so freaking annoying. And I love scrolling through the chat because he gets roasted left. Like, not one person's like, yeah, you're what, you're right. No, they all roast your ass.
You know what's funny, actually? Another special shout out and a special goodbye to that douchebag Dan Clark, who's been bullied so much that he's leaving Twitter, and not a single person gave a flying fuck that he's leaving. In fact, everyone gave him a special "get the fuck off of this app," because now it's going to be better without him. So a special second Aaron Hicks Award winner to Dan Clark for thinking people actually gave a flying fuck that he was bullied off to leaving Twitter. We're going to bully you even more now because you basically cried about it. You spent so much time defending Trevor Bauer, who's a kind of a piece of shit, but yet you want sympathy because you got bullied. Poor baby. And even Ben Verlander actually eviscerated him. So I give a little bit of credit to Ben Verlander there, but you're right. He needs to get off his knees for Ohtani. However, goodbye, good riddance, Dan Clark. Do not come back. We will not miss you.
This is awesome. You guys are absolutely nailing folk to the wall right now. It's fantastic. Anybody else?
Well, we could also give mention to the fans that went after Lance McCullers, threatening, him, his family, and all of that, because of his outing. And supposedly there was a whole group that lost a lot of money betting, and decided to take it out on Lance McCullers and his family. These players are only human. I mean, come on. And to go that far, if you're that upset over a bet, then your concern should be getting into a gambling rehab center, rather than going on your keyboard attacking people.
And their kids. I heard that.
It's disgusting.
Kids. Throw them in jail and lock away the key. That's where we'll throw away the key. Just
this is what people. Again, the whole sports betting thing. It's a problem because it's all people do now. But now you got people threatening the players because I didn't hit my parlay. Just maybe there's a special place for them, and it involves fire. I'll say that for your sports bettors. And if you're going to go after someone's family and their kids because you lost a few dollars, there's a special place down there for you. It's surrounded by fire and a bunch of really terrible people. So have fun because you're one of them. Stop threatening players' families. Stop threatening players, first of all. It's not their fault that you lost money. You decided to spend your money on a fucking gambling app, which, by the way, they didn't let Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame because of gambling, yet every time you turn a corner in a baseball game, DraftKings, FanDuel, MGM sports betting,
Ohtani,
enjoy the fire pit. Ohtani, eBay.
Yeah, it was the interpreter the whole time. Yeah, like we all bought that.
What a hell of an interpreter.
That's gotta be one. I think that's one of the biggest freaking sports cover-ups since the Black Sox.
It is. And it'll only come out once he's long since retired. That's when we'll start to hear more about it. Trust me. Baseball have swept that under the rug, and we're not going to hear anything about it until Ohtani's retired. Then it'll start coming out. But yeah. Oh shit.
On a good note, all in all, it really was a great series in Sacramento. The other thing I do want to mention is, because Susan Waldman mentioned it, Sacramento actually did a really good job showing up. Where they sold out that park, like all 3 games, standing room, elbow to elbow, and they also said the money what they invested in to fix up and clean up the clubhouses. She goes, this is probably a nicer clubhouse than when they were at the Coliseum. So they did a really good job over there to make sure that while they're playing there, they're comfortable and it's got all the amenities that they would be used to in other major league parks. So I got to mention to whoever's running the show over there in Sacramento. Hats off to you to making sure that their time there is kind of enjoyable.
Kind of a slap in the face of the Oakland fans, though, because the Coliseum was like the seventh layer of hell. They were playing there for years, so there's a reason the Raiders got the hell out of there, and the Athletics were still stuck there. I mean, we all know the infamous fun time that one fan had up in the upper deck, which that's really all you could have done in an Athletics game. And once they left, it's all of a sudden they invested. They had
Ben Verlander.
Yeah. Yeah, Ben Verlander was up there with his Ohtani doll. But yeah, that's what you were seeing at the Coliseum. We're going off.
I mean, I'm kind of glad that they're in Sacramento. That's a good sports town. I mean, they got the Kings there. I would have preferred them just to stay there in Sacramento. Become the Sacramento Kings. Don't move to Las Vegas. Everyone's in Vegas right now. Build a baseball team in Sacramento. It looked like they had fun out there. It looked kind of fun. It looked like a fun place to play. You just need to build it up a little bit. But shout out to them, man. I think that was pretty cool. It was a good atmosphere, and it was all Yankee fans, which was even better. But it just kind of looked kind of fun. So I'm definitely on board with that. We got to talk about DJ LeMahieu before we sign off.
Do we know?
Sorry, guys. It has to be. It's the law. It looks like he's coming back. But in his rehab, he's batting .474. 9 for 19 with 524 on base percentage. 9 for 19 in his rehab. Do we look anyway into that at all? Where's he? It looks like he's gonna play second base.
Yeah.
Does that mean that Vivas gets sent down, or does that mean Pablo Reyes gets sent to the moon, or does that mean that they trade Peraza? What do you think?
Should be Pablo Reyes. It will be Vivas. Our second base production has been non-existent since Jazz got hurt, and even when he was playing, he was really struggling for like the last couple of weeks. So, I guess whatever we can get, it can't be worse than what we're getting. Like outside, like our lineup has been really good. We've had some decent production from Cabrera here and there, but we've gotten basically nothing. I won't put anything on Vivas because he's barely had 20 at-bats, but Peraza hasn't hit. He hasn't been playing enough, but Pablo Reyes stinks. So it can't be worse. And if we can get something close to the 2023 DJ, if he just doesn't have like the most dreadful numbers we've ever seen, can he get somewhere like 680 or higher OPS? I'm kind of lowering the bar as much as I can for him. At the bottom of the order, fine. We know his defense will be fine. Just hit the ball the other way. That's all I ask. I'm not asking you to turn back the clock to 2021, 2020. Just don't be as bad as you were last year, and it should be an improvement. The bar is so low for him that anything we get is, I guess.
Listen, I believe that they should just give the second base job to Peraza. I mean, we've not given him a shot. For instance, this is classic Yankees. Peraza hits a 2-run home run. The next at bat, he gets pinch hit. How are you supposed to succeed? So anybody that says Peraza has not made the most of his opportunities, how is he supposed to make the most of his opportunities? Every time he hits a home run, he gets benched.
Well, stop hitting home runs.
What is he supposed to do? You know what I'm saying? Right? And he already said he's finding a hard time sitting for like 3 weeks and then suddenly like turning up. That's why his defense kind of took a little bit of a downturn last week. It's really difficult for certain people to do that. The Yankees have treated him like garbage, and I will never accept it. However, DJ LeMahieu, listen, whatever we can get. If he hits anything close to what he hit in his rehab assignment, then that's going to be a big boost for him.
We welcome it, yeah, to be honest.
I don't, as long as he doesn't ground into double plays, that's the key. I mean, he's only a singles hitter now, but just don't hit into double plays, please. Just don't be a double play machine, right? Ground outs, we can live with ground outs. It's not for double plays. That's going to be important for DJ because that was one of his big issues in previous years is he just keeps grounding into double plays, just rolling over to short constantly. that can't happen this time. So let's see. Maybe he's a little better. Listen, I've always been a big DJ LeMahieu fan. DJ LeMahieu is my guy. He's been my guy for a while. He really slapped me in the face once I got his jersey by just crumbling into dust. So I want him to show up, and that would be great. I'd be happy for him. I'd certainly be one of the happiest for him. I just don't see the upside there. He's only a singles hitter, and he's really old, and he's got no legs anymore. Let's give it to Peraza. Stop messing around. That's all I'm going to say. But if you want to play DJ, go for it. Let's just hope that he's like a league average infielder at this stage.
That's all you can hope for.
Yeah.
Just don't hit like a 400 OPS like he had last year. Like, by the way, Pablo Reyes' OPS is below 400. Just want to point that out.
He's freaking garbage.
Best player on the team. You just got to get him at bats. You just have to get him in the lineup.
Have to. I want to know what he's got on the front office.
You notice how much
sad.
We were really rallying a lot behind Boom when he was just ignoring Reyes. Like, didn't he notice the trend there that they were actually doing really well without him? Whatever we get out of DJ, like if he's really feeling it at the plate and they want to capitalize on that when they call him up and see if he can bring that up with him, then I think it'd be stupid to say, well, you just got to bench him. You don't want to throw ice on the guy either. He is despite the numbers from the last couple of years, he is a respected ball player. And ride it out. If you can get a couple of series out of him, then take it. But I'm not expecting miracles when he gets called up. I'm really not. Just get what you can out of him, kind of attitude.
Agreed.
CT, if you find a Pablo Reyes jersey somewhere, then I will wear it on stream. If you were able to find a Pablo fucking Reyes jersey, I will gladly wear it on stream. It's got to be rarer than finding gold at the end of a goddamn rainbow to find a Pablo Reyes jersey.
But, and if he's going, he loves Pablo. He freaking loves Pablo Reyes. Well, I don't know if we do, but we do love all of you for hanging out with us today. That's going to wrap things up for us. And with that, if you do remember, hit that like button if you haven't already. Hit that sub button if you want to join the chat and future shows when we do the awards. Voice your own opinion. Don't let us always speak for you guys. You guys have your own voice. And we always enjoy interacting with the chat. And also share this out with everybody. Help the algorithm grow. And with that, hope you all enjoy the series with Seattle. We will be back Wednesday morning, 10 a.m. as always. So with that, wear those pinstripes of pride and play hard.
Fun show.